not all cruise lines offer the same experience. So To Grandma Kathy Buckworth is just back from the Norwegian Fjords.
You said that the right way, the fjords.
Yes. And you were on what you describe as a cultured cruise.
Yes, and what I mean by that is I went with Cunard. So those of us who know Cunard probably know them for the transatlantic crossings that they do
on the Queen Mary.
On the Queen Mary too, from Southampton to New York City. They actually have the Queen Victoria and the Queen Elizabeth. They'll be launching the Queen Anne. So it's a fleet of ships, but unlike other ones, first of all, they're smaller. Only about 2,000 passengers on the Queen Victoria that I was on, 900 crew. And I remember walking into the, the main lobby as you come up the gangplank, cruises, how you come in. And the guy behind me said, I feel like I'm stepping onto an ocean liner, not entering a resort. And that, for me, defined the very difference of this cruise ship versus other ones that I've been on, and I've had a perfectly great time in all these other ones, and just Caribbean locations and what have you. It's just different. And it starts with really, there's a 2-story library, there's afternoon tea, there are lectures running almost all day from great distinguished intellectuals, authors, astronauts, anyone that you the schedule is insane for at-sea days. So it's really that experience where you're almost like in a museum. I know that, I don't mean it in the sense.
A museum or an art gallery? It's an art gallery.
There is an art gallery on board. There are gin tastings. There are, champagne cocktail afternoons. There is a silent disco, and I did it, which I love.
Silent discos,
and there's ballroom dancing. They teach ballroom dancing, and some of the passengers are amazing dancers. They come back year after year. The average age of a cruiser on Cunard is 60. So I had done the transatlantic crossing before, and I am 60, and I will say I was on the young end for that one.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the one that I did though in the summer to Norway, it's in the summer, so kids are out of school. It was more family oriented, and plus you're more active when you land at the excursion and at the ports. And we landed at 3 different Norwegian fjord ports, which were amazing: Olden, Skolden, and Haugesund, and took the day excursions, to really explore Norway and then come back to this ship. Of course, the food was spectacular, as it always is on cruise lines. And so it was really this overall experience of really getting to enjoy many different parts of Norway and England at the beginning without having to move your hotel room, as you often have to do.
And dressing, you dress up on this cruise.
You dress up on this cruise. So after 6 o'clock, you have to dress what they call smart. So you have to, no jeans, no shorts, no sweats, etc. All of the dinners are sort of a smart dinner. Now you can just go to the pub that's on board if you want to order room service.
More casual.
More casual. And 2 nights were gala nights. So one night is a black and white ball. The men are wearing tuxedos. The ladies are on these beautiful outfits. And then
I always wonder, how do you pack for that?
Actually, I had a massive suitcase because I had to pack for all of this because I was using the gym, of course. I was doing all the excursions, the hiking, and then the gala nights. There was a Roaring 20s night as well, where some people really, even their whole families got into it. Just super fun. And before you go on the cruise, obviously, that this is going to happen. So they lay out these theme nights. And what I also love about Cunard is I did this 7-day one. So from Southampton to the Norwegian Fjords back to Southampton, people stayed on the ship and were going on to Spain in that circumstance. But they could have also stayed on for 21 days for whatever. You can add these legs or these segments, and you don't have to disembark and get back on, which is a big benefit, actually.
Let's talk cost, because you talk about this and it looks expensive.
It looks expensive, but I will tell you what, it's very comparable to like a Disney. It's very comparable to like a Princess. So if you look at the prices, actually, I was impressed by their pricing. And when I did the transatlantic cruise about 6 years ago, there were people on board that said they did that instead of flying business class, and it was the same price. And they had 7 days at sea. They had the time to do it and enjoy all the meals and everything that went with it. So it's definitely check out cunard.ca. It's less than you think. They have a lot of last-minute sales as well. They also offer unique excursions. Like I said, theme excursions. There might be a literature one. They have authors on. They have the National Ballet on sometimes. They have symphony orchestras on. So if you're really into that sort of thing, it's a whole experience. Put that into your cost as well. If you were to attend these lectures or see these people in concert, etc.
You'd pay so much more extra to do that.
Absolutely.
But it's there, and you just walk out of your hotel room and there it is.
And all food is included. There's a number of restaurants on board. I said everything from an English pub to a very fancy dining room, of course. I went to a pop-up Norwegian restaurant in one of their buffet areas. It wasn't buffet, and I had all kinds of salmon, of course, and beautiful things. As usual, drink packages are not included. That is fairly standard on a cruise line, but know that before you go in. I mean, you pay extra for the excursions, but you can book those all on board. They make it really easy.
Okay.
You gotta go.
I gotta go.
You gotta go. And this is, I was going for a naval look. I'm kind of more Thurston Howell III, but you know.
We'll get all the details on your socials. We'll get that up on our website, chch.com.